Hey guys, Zen here, and welcome back. And well, it's been some time since you've heard my voice last, but we're back with some updates for Rainbow Six Siege. We're going to speak on Year 4 Season 3. We're also going to touch on what's circling around the big Siege event this week in Raleigh. So yeah, pretty packed video. But just in case you were wondering, nothing changed. I'm still a Kaid main, and I'm still hyped for Rainbow Six news. So let's get into this, guys. So first up, yes, it's official. Ubisoft announced Operation Ember Rise. As we know, we'll be getting one operator from Peru and one from Mexico, as well as the rework to Canal. Thankfully, we don't have to speculate here because Rainbow released a brand new trailer showing off the new gadgets, so let's check it out, guys.
Stress test, Gara Hook. Previous session terminated after unacceptable levels of cervical acceleration deceleration. Commencing test now. 2.001, unsuccessful. Stress test, 2.002. 2.217. 217 meets safety design criteria. Volatility test. Vulcan Shield version 1.001. Jordan, if you're watching this, you owe me a drink.
So the Gara Hook and the Vulcan Shield are both of the new gadgets coming in Ember Rise, and at first glance, both of these abilities are actual game changers. Starting off with the Gara Hook and all of the details we know. The first thing that jumps out at me and what we see from the trailer is that this gadget will require aim to be successful, and it also looks like once you actually fire the hook, as long as it grabs something, you will go flying. Now, what's interesting about this is that if you're not super accurate, you could potentially hurt yourself, or even worse, possibly down yourself if you're not on target. I mean, the dummy constantly smacks the floor until it's fired accurately, so that could be one element of balance to this ability. There's also the obvious point that this gadget isn't just limited to go up through hatches like we thought. Horizontal grappling is possible as well, and so there's almost this Spider-Man-like mechanic happening here. In the blog posted alongside the trailer, Mira tells us that it's possible to rappel straight through barricaded windows, but also that this operator will need to catch the defenders off guard, or else she'll be met with a bullet to the face. Now, as we discussed in the past, when you're using this gadget, it's going to be loud and very apparent where and when this thing is being fired, so timing here is going to be everything if you want to be successful. Overall, this gadget has me very interested. There isn't another gadget like this at all in Rainbow Six Siege at the moment, and I think this is another gadget, kind of similar to Frost welcome mats, that the community will have to grow into and learn how to best use and counter. But we still have the Vulcan Shield to discuss, so let's get on with it. So this gadget looks modular to me, meaning it comes with multiple parts, and I think you'll get to choose exactly how you want to use them. Now, I could be wrong, but I think the flame canister is one element and the deployable shield is another. It looks like it's placed magnetically to the shield, and the shield looks to have a special pad that the canister is placed on, so either the shield is the same one every other defender gets and it's equipped with this pad, or this shield is specific to the new defender and the canister can only be used with it, but I really don't think the latter is the case. Ubisoft did say that the new deployable V2 would be receiving some additional tweaks before release, and so it's possible that this is what they were referring to. Now, if it is a fire canister and the deployable shield is separate, then I can see many different uses for this. You could set it up under a window, for example, and hey, maybe the new attacker comes swinging on in, and then you can shoot it out at her feet. There's definitely a trap element to this gadget that's really exciting and kind of a different mechanic that forces you as a defender, really any of the defenders, to take the risk and shoot the canister, but reap the benefits afterwards. As far as the deployable shield element, I'm actually really curious how this will work when Bandit or Kaid electrifies it, and why this is so important is because when a shield is electrified, it makes it much tougher to take out. At this time, really only impacts and a frag can take out a shield like this, which if there's a fire canister attached to it, I'd imagine it'd still explode and serve its purpose. Now, on the attacker side, this could be used against defense as well. The devs specifically mentioned Smoke's gas canisters as serving a similar purpose during the match, and as you know, if you've ever been a teammate caught in a gas canister, it sucks, really, and my apologies for being blunt, but it does. So as an attacker, if you're aware of the Vulcan Shield and you notice a defender hanging out by it, you could potentially pop the canister and get an advantage. We're still not sure of the counters. It's possible Twitch could pop it, kind of like the mirror counter. I could see Capital's firebolts causing it to explode, but yeah, yeah, as an attacker, once the plant goes down, you become the defender, so you could always use this against roamers trying to retake the site. The last thing that's mentioned about the defender is that he's quiet and thoughtful, so on the opposite side of Warden, the most recent defender, who's more dapper in nature. So to be honest, my first impressions of what we've got here is that, at least from a gadget standpoint, these are going to change things up quite a bit, and there's going to be brand new mechanics that have never been seen before, kind of like seeing through reinforced walls with Mira in year 2. But what are your thoughts? Are these two gadgets as game-changing as I'm making it seem, or are you needing something more? Tell us in a comment down below. Now, these images have been floating around for a while, but after this announcement, these are definitely the new operators in this concept art. First of all, they seem to be working together on a mission of some kind out in some ruins in the wild, but given the look of these two, I'm thinking the female is 3-speed and the male is 2 armor 2-speed. We haven't had a 3-speed attacker since Maverick back in Grim Sky, but even then, Maverick is typically played much slower and tactical with his blowtorch. This operator is going to be a very fast, very elusive kind of 3-speed, more closely to Ash or IQ, but potentially even worse, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Moving on, we also learned about the potential of a Season 4 operator through a leak recently, most likely a defender who will bring direct competition to Jaeger. Now, if this is true, this is massive news for the defending side of the round, and of course for the meta as a whole. Jaeger is a monopoly. I mean, there really is no other way to put it. Because he's the only option to deal with attacker nades, he's constantly picked, and from what we've seen with the latest win rate and pick rate data, he's the top operator on defense by a country mile. Now, 2.0 operators are nothing new in Siege. Ash and Zofia comes to mind, and even Bandit and my main Kaid as well. These operators serve a similar purpose, but executed in completely different ways, which is what makes them feel unique and defined. Now, to be honest with you guys, a Jaeger 2.0 sounds exciting, but I cannot think of how this operator would function. Jaeger's ADS system just works so well, and it can be easily spread around the objective, so it's just been tough to imagine an operator that shares the ability, but also remains just as useful as Jaeger. With Kaid, there was always that need to electrify hatches, and so Bandit just wasn't able to do it effectively, and so obviously the introduction of the Electroclaw was necessary for the game. Jaeger is currently one of the strongest operators on defense, and so if there is a 2.0 operator coming, then they'll have to be very strong as well to be relevant. I don't know guys, this one is tough for me. I definitely want to see a new operator that deals with attacker nades, make no mistake, and it's also necessary, but I'm just really curious how it'll be executed. And that brings us to the conclusion of this segment of the episode, and finally I'll say that I really hope we get some new weapons this season. A big criticism of Phantom Sight was the lack of actually new content in the game, but also the new operators using abilities that kind of already existed. I'm hoping that the only reused asset here is Canal, the map rework for Season 3, and we get these all new abilities and new weapons to play around with. Trust me guys, I'm not trying to sound like super entitled gamer here, but I think for this season in particular, it's really important we get new content all the way around. Next, we can talk about this week's big event in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, if you're an esports fan, then there's plenty of content here to soak up, but if not, this will be the event that showcases Operation Ember Rise in full. Now, again, the prize pool is $500,000, and Operation Ember Rise will be revealed on the 18th during the event on stage. So I'm ready guys, this is going to be a huge event with a lot of new information on what's to come, and of course you'll find it all right here, so keep those notifications on. And by the way, I appreciate those who've had them on. So that's the announcement and the scope of what's coming in the next season, Operation Ember Rise. The hype train is just beginning, and with all of the shortcomings of Phantom Sight, I'm really hoping we have a better season this time around. Personally, I have enjoyed Phantom Sight, but it'd be a disservice not to look back on it and kind of reflect on some of the things that felt short. On a side note, one thing I'm hoping to hear soon is just how much the game has grown recently. The last player count was 45 million to my knowledge, and I'm interested to see if through Phantom Sight we've reached a new peak. But if Ember Rise does introduce brand new content, I think we will see more people coming into the game, which of course is only a good thing. Speaking of new content, Ubi, where is the Smoke Elite? During Operation Phantom Sight, we've only had the Legion Elite release, and I can't remember a season with only one Elite uniform, so either it's coming very, very soon here, or it's possible it's been delayed alongside the Smoke gadget fix for the operator. But that's it guys, Operation Ember Rise has been announced with a new R&D trailer showing off the early stages of the new gadgets, and of course paired with my thoughts. This is big guys, like really big this time, and all I can say is that I hope the devs aren't afraid to make these two really stand out this season, because I'm ready for some powerful and viable new operators. Honestly, when you look at everything here, I think the grappling hook is going to drastically speed up the attacking side of the round, and the Vulcan flame shield is going to cause a lot more variability in how you anchor down on site and protect certain areas. It's been a very long time since we've had a dedicated area denial operator on defense, and I think the Vulcan shield is going to serve that direct purpose. I think the grapple hook will probably be the more universal of the two gadgets this season, and because of her ability to just bust through barricades and maybe even potentially castle barricades with this thing, I think the way that we set up each and every objective will have to be played a little bit differently, like trap placement and maestro cams, and just setting up different ways and different angles that we really haven't ever had to before, because now we have an operator that can just fly through these barricades and these windows and these doorways. So it's just going to really change the entire meta if it's executed properly, which is really exciting. But I want to hear from you. Now that Ember Rise is official, what new weapons do you think we'll see? And as far as Jaeger 2.0, how could it be done? Leave everything in a comment down below. If you did enjoy this video, please drop a like, and now is a great time to subscribe with those notifications for more great content, guys. But with that, it's been Zen. I'm out.